everyone. It is 7 p.m. June 10th, 2026. As sufficient voters are present to open the meeting will come to order. In calling this special town meeting to order pursuant to a warrant duly posted and returned, thank you all for attending. Let's take a moment to rise if you are able and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. If everyone could take a moment to silence your phones, please. This meeting is being recorded. The moderator, Jared McDonald-Bourbeau, is unable to attend this evening's town meeting. Section 14 of Chapter 39 of the General Laws requires that in his absence, the first order of business is the election by ballot of a temporary moderator. The temporary moderator will have the same powers as and perform the duties of a moderator. The town clerk understands that Tim Haley is willing and able to perform the duties of the moderator tonight. For the election, the town meeting is required to conduct. The person receiving the majority of votes of those present and voting is declared the winner. Therefore, if there is only one person's name in nomination, only one vote will be required to elect the temporary moderator. Do I have a nomination for Tim Haley to act as temporary moderator for the purposes of this town meeting?
Yes. I nominate Tim Haley as the moderator for the meeting.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed, and I will ask for a vote to confirm the nomination. Do I hear a motion that the chairman of the Board of Selectmen cast one ballot for Tim Haley? Second? Motion made and seconded. I will ask for a vote on the motion that the chairman of the Board of Selectmen cast one ballot. All in favor? All opposed? The chairman of the Board of Selectmen will cast one ballot, and I will review the ballot and declare the result of the election. I declare that Tim Haley has been elected temporary moderator, and I will administer the oath of office. Raise your right hand. Oh, sorry, put yourself down. Do you, Tim Haley, solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially perform and discharge the duties of the office of temporary moderator to which you have been elected?
Hello.
Hi.
I guess, let's see, it's been a while since I've done this, but I watched Jared, and so I'll try to make believe what he did. If we're going to ask for the article, we only have 2 articles. So when you want to speak, raise your hand, come up to the microphone, state your name, where you live, and have at it. It's okay. Okay, we have Article 1.
I move that the town raise and appropriate an additional $208,020 to supplement the appropriation under Article 11 of the May 6, 2026 annual town meeting to fully fund its share of the Narragansett Regional School District budget for FY27, contingent on the passage of a so-called Proposition 2.5 override vote under General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21C.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to Raise and appropriate $208,200. $208,020 for the Narragansett Regional School District budget for FY '27. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Moderator, Sylvia Haley, 5 Myrtle Road. I'd like to make a motion to have Article 1 voted by a paper ballot vote.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, we have a couple seconds. Hold on a second. Is this a debatable one or is this not? Okay, is there any discussion on this?
I'd like to discuss these. I'd like to discuss it,
The,
the articles.
okay, well, this is a motion to fix the ballot as a ballot vote.
I'd like to also have that fixed as a ballot vote.
Okay.
But I want to say to the people that are here,
Okay.
if you pass
Hold-
these articles,
Hold on a second, hold on.
it means you hold on. I want to talk.
Wait, you will have your chance, but we have to vote first whether we're going to have a ballot or not, and then we'll discuss the article. So once we vote on that, then you'll be up.
I suggest we have a ballot.
Okay. Is there any discussion on having a ballot vote? Seeing none, all those in favor of having a private ballot vote, paper vote, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, it's unanimous. Not unanimous. Majority, we're going to have a ballot vote when it comes time. Now, is there any discussion on the article? Yeah.
I would just like to
Okay,
remind,
we need name and,
my name is Brent Allen. I'm from 45 Narrow Lane. I've been a resident since 1993. The last time I was here, I was arrested for voicing my opinion. I just want to tell you people that if you pass these articles, it overrides 2.5, which means there's an open-ended tax that can be done anytime the town or the clerks or anybody wants a raise or any other thing.
Never ends.
Never ends.
okay. Is there, excuse me, is there any other discussion on this? Okay.
Carrie Russo, 415 Williamsville Road. I just have a question for how much this will cost our taxpayers if the override passes.
Okay. Do we have an answer for how much it will add to the taxes?
So the anticipated increase is 51 cents per 1,000 of assessed valuation of your home.
Okay. Okay, we have a,
Can you hear me now? Gerhard Fandryer, Royalston Road. Can we get a number on the average amount it would increase the taxes per the average property value in town, please?
Certainly. As of FY26, the average property value is assessed at $431,400. That would equate at 51 cents to $220 per year.
Okay, is there any other questions? All right, I saw your hand go up first.
Chris Sawyer, 670 Royalston Road. Is this on top of the 2.5% we've already approved? Or is this added to the 2.5% we've already approved?
It's an override, so it would be 2.5% more if it passes.
So we're going 5%.
No, we're going 2.5% over what the actual levy is now. You can consider it 5, but it's really not 2. It's 2.5 over previous, and now this would just be a straight 2.5 over that.
Okay, what we approved a month ago, I guess it was, in May, we approved a whole bunch of stuff. That tally hasn't been put into this tax and override. I know it's separate, but do we know how much the cost was for the first yes or no votes for the first meeting? I mean, did we prove $300,000, $400,000? So we're going to get hit with that $250 plus this? This is just for the school is what I'm saying, I guess. This doesn't include the increase that we approved before. So the taxes would really go up more than what people are thinking right now.
Well, it'll go up more than the 2.5 that we normally vote, yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Rick?
Rick Tenney, Highway Superintendent. I'm not sure if you've thought this far into it, and maybe we're not at that bridge yet, but if this passes, is there a chance that there could be a cut on the highway, the fire, and the PD, depending on which direction the town has to go? I know obviously we would have to vote. This is probably it's a long question. We would have to go through another step of a Prop 2.5 override. If that Prop 2.5 override didn't pass, then obviously the town's got to try to get money from someplace else. And if you've only got a gallon coming in, you can only let a gallon out. So is there a chance that I could lose a highway guy? PD could lose a police officer, fire could lose a fire guy. To replace my 2004 one-ton that we rebuilt 7 years ago, that's going to get put on hold as well. All of these things I think could happen, but I just want clarification.
I'd have to say, because we're not there yet, we really haven't thought about what might have to be cut or where else we would get these funds.
Okay. But it could happen.
Yes, it could.
It's on the table. Okay. Thank you.
I can give a little bit of...
Can I explain the process to him?
Okay.
What's going on? So if this passes tonight for the override, we need to have a ballot vote on the 30th of June. If either one of these fail, then we're going to go to a district-wide meeting, meaning we got to go to a meeting with with Templeton, and the feeling is that we're going to be outnumbered. It could happen, it could not. Also, if we don't pass this, and I'm not saying to vote yes or no, everyone makes up their own mind, it messes up the assessment that the DOR can't certify the amount for the tax rate to be set, which further complicates issues, because then if we need to borrow money, it's going to be higher because our rating's going to be less and all that. I'm going to try to answer Rick's question, is if it fails here and we go to the district-wide meeting and we get voted against and we have to come up with it anyway, then we need to have another special town meeting to figure where we're going to make the cuts from. So yes, it could affect the police, the fire, and other services. There may be some other options. And when I say that, there's we have a stabilization account. It's not typically used for these kinds of things. That's a dangerous scenario because if we don't fix the problem now, it's only double next year the problem that we have right now. So the recommendation from the select board, and I think the FinCom was with us at the time when we voted for the school budget, was to give them the 2.5%, and we'll see where the numbers came back. And the school came back that they requested this amount of money, and Templeton paid, my understanding is they voted for their share. So we're kind of like in a pickle. If we don't vote for it, we go to a district-wide meeting, and I don't know if anybody's ever been to one before, but it's probably not going to turn out well for Phillipston. Hope I answered the questions, but if you have any more, please ask.
And I think if I can add a little clarification too, is if we vote for this, it won't come out of this year's or FY27's budget and take anything from the highway. That's already been approved. It'll just be in future years we would have to worry about that. If this is approved?
If it's approved, the override, yeah, but if it gets voted down, then we got to go back and cut money from, okay.
That's what I was saying. If it's approved, it won't affect what's already been voted at the other meetings. It'll just, next year, maybe. Okay, is there any other questions? Any other comment? Okay.
Carrie Russo, 415 Williamsville Road. I just want to follow up with that question. I know you don't really have answers, I guess, yet, but how many cuts would you be looking at? I just want to make a good decision on my vote and what we're looking at, because we work so hard to get these positions for this town. It's a small town. We don't have a lot to cut. So I just want to know what we're looking at, or if you have an idea. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have an answer to what would be cut if we had to do the cutting?
Yeah, essentially, that's right. We don't have that many employees in the town of Phillipston, so obviously you're going to see if we're cutting $208,000 out of the budget, you're going to see issues, or you're going to see problems. I'm going to say, I can't tell you where they're going to come from, but they're probably going to come from the police, the fire, the DPW. We'll probably share some of those things. We just got to a point where we got everything kind of like working pretty good. People don't make a barrel of money here. They work. They're not. Some communities you go and people are hanging around. Whatever the DPW guys, I don't think anybody can criticize anything that they've been doing. Our police department is like 100% right now. If you called the fire department, they're going to be here, the ambulance, whatever. We're going to lose some of those services. We have 2 full-time firefighters. If we have to remove one, we might as well remove 2, because you need 2 people to answer a call. The DPW, they only have 3 people working on a DPW. Where do we cut? How do we make up 208? Anyway, how do we make that up? We already kind of like level funded all the material and expense stuff, so. What was that? Are you a Phillipston resident? No. Why don't you sit down and let us have our meeting? Okay, so the comment that somebody made, it doesn't make sense. We're self-sufficient. We have to pay our own bills and stuff like that. Anyway, the bottom line is there's going to be cuts.
Okay, I saw you in the yellow shirt.
Hi, Kat Buell. I'm 325 Royalston Road. I used to be on school committee, so I'm obviously for favor of schools. I'm also a teacher, so I know how this affects our children. I'm also a mom of young kids in this district, and I don't want to see our young children growing up without adequate education. They're our next to fill your seats. And I'm worried about our property taxes dropping if our school doesn't fund the way it's supposed to. We've had a ton of people move in Templeton and Phillipston, and they can choose to send their kids to private schools and not our school, which we will lose money on if that happens. So I guess if we don't pass this budget, what's the alternative for our taxes then? And our values?
Okay. Okay. I think I saw, Karen, did you have your hand up?
Karen Perkins, Templeton Road. I'm just wondering why the school isn't being mentioned as part of something to cut. Is this like a done deal that we have to pay this much for the school?
Okay. Ruth?
Well, it is what the school requested, and this extra 200, so the district requested of both Templeton and Phillipston their amounts to pay for their total budget. Templeton passed their amounts. So I don't know how what Templeton's doing to make up their shortfall so that they can pay it after their override fails, but they're going to pay it because they voted it. So now our share, we did make a vote of $2,123,561, but that falls $208,020 short. So the fear is that if we end up at a two-town meeting, they're going to stay status quo with what they've got, and that forces us to pay the 208. So we have to have a town meeting, which we're doing now, to see if we can raise that $208,020. And the only way without cutting all kinds of services is basically with an override. So.
We're going back to the school for cuts.
Well, we did go back to the school, and they did make a cut from their first proposal.
Okay, I see Mr. Casavant has his hand up. Would there be any objection for him speaking on the floor? What's that? Oh, he's entitled to? Okay, I've been told that by statute, he's entitled to speak, so.
So it will be covered by statute. Chris Casavant, Superintendent of Schools. So we have to kind of take a step back. So when the school committee certified its original budget, it was very early in the process, but we had to certify that budget before the end of March. A lot was up in the air. So the school committee certified a level service budget, knowing fully well that that was not a number that anyone was really going to be able to sustain. Okay? So through the process we went, the Phillipston town meeting happened to be the day before the school committee meeting that it lowered the assessment. Okay? Made a cut of $1.3 million. So the question, and I couldn't really hear it back there, but if the question was, what are the schools cutting? I think that's the question. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. That regardless, with the budget that you have before you, with the assessment before you, it's going to be it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be a grand total of 13 cents. So there have been cuts. There are cuts. That was what the new number presented in terms of cuts. So I think I'm hopeful that answers the question.
Okay. Gerhard, then.
Gerhard Van Dry, Royalston Road. So if I could ask the superintendent then, how much, so the number that we have, the two numbers combined should be less than what we are approving today. Isn't that true? So how much, because the numbers that we have are based on the original number. Is that true? No?
If you don't mind, I'm just going to reach back here to Anne Marie. The question was, what was exactly the question? The number, this number, and what number? The first number was higher, okay. And so we're cutting $1.3 million from that number, right? Okay. What do you mean? You mean in total or in terms of cut? In total.
So if you cut 1.3 and Phillipston's share is what, 15% of that?
Give or take.
Of that
Yeah.
cut. So just straighten me out because I'm a little confused on this myself. So the original number that we passed and this 208,000, is that add up to the second number that you came up with or the first number that you came up with?
The second number.
Okay, all right. So now if, okay, that's my question. All right, thank you.
All right, you and the yellow again.
I just know that we had an agreement back in, I don't know, 1978 or something like that for our schools, and we really have not raised many prices. We pay our bills, but we don't pay more than that for the school district now. You know, I'm a resident, I'm happy about that, except for my kids go to the school, and I feel like we should support what the schools do need. And if we are only paying 15% of a school bill, and we are a small town, however, we are growing, I think that we should be able to come up with $200,000 of a $3 million budget. And is that possible to come out of the revenue that we have in Phillipston?
I hear a bunch of, no, that's why we're doing the override. So, okay, Luann?
Luann Royer, 3 Samuel Drive. This question's for Dr. Casavan. My question is, you have cuts that you've taken, but are all these cuts with teachers or administration being cut also?
Chris Cassidy, Superintendent. The Assistant Superintendent has been cut regardless of what budget is passed. The high school principal position has been cut regardless of whatever budget is passed. And as of right now, 3 teachers and I think 4, sorry, I have glasses, 4 paraprofessionals.
Okay.
I want a custodian, equal 13 custodian.
All right, you in the green shirt again?
As far as the budget, that should have been figured out prior to this meeting. Second of all, we found out during COVID that we don't even need schooling. Most of the children are educated on computers by the time they're 5 years old. We can have 12 teachers teaching our entire school system. So there is plenty of room to cut money from the town budget. And most of these people are making 3 figures that are working for the town.
We're going to give Dave a chance then. Oh.
Why was this number presented so late in this process?
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Dave Manty, 570 Royalston Road. Why was this number given to the town way too late so we couldn't even prepare it on our warrant in our normal meeting? I mean, it was 22%, I believe they were asking. I mean, that was a wish list for sure, but they should have gave us the correct number. Why was there such a delay? I mean, we couldn't even prepare to cut other things and just make it maybe a non-override question. I'd like an answer from that, please.
Dave, it's because our town meeting vote was prior to them re-voting their budget and lowering the assessment.
Well, when we put our numbers in for town meeting, we usually have it in months ahead of time. So you know what our budget is in the assessor's office. Everybody knows. The school can present it after. Why don't they give us the numbers a month ahead of time? That's not a good thing to do. I mean, how do we prepare for that? It's ridiculous. If the school can't get their you-know-what together, they don't need to be here no more. You can fire the superintendent.
Okay, all right, that's enough of that. All right, are there any other comments?
I don't have any other questions, but I just wanted to make a comment. Now that I have kind of an idea of how much it's going to cost taxpayers, it just seems like it's only a couple $100 over a year. I mean, it's but I know that that's a lot right now, so I'm not making that small for some people because we're in hard times right now. But I do have 4 children that are going to Narragansett School District. If this budget doesn't pass, athletics is on the table, and more teachers cuts than Dr. Callahan presented. So I just wanted to say, like, and on top of that, also, like, think about your town, a small town. We don't have a lot of people on our police or fire and all of those things. Just consider that where that 200 a year is going to go, it's going to go towards your school, it's going to go towards, your town. So, final comment, thank you.
Okay. Hugan, in the yellow, yes. Sorry, I forgot your name.
Pat, Royalston Road. I just wanted to go back to the triple-digit income and say that that is absolutely astronomical. Actually, Templeton teachers make way less than teachers in our area, and I also know that we've already cut positions at the school district level. Special ed positions have just been covered by other teachers. I think that we need to really look at what we're doing right now, how we're educating our children, what we're doing to Band-Aid that situation. Computers do not educate our children. They do not learn that way. And I just feel very strongly that it's important to see that these are the people that are going to run this town one day, just like many of you that are sitting here that grew up and lived in this town. So, I also wanted to add that my son is also huge into sports. We recently are trying to renovate this school in particular and the fields to utilize that, and if budgets get cut for sports, then all of that is going to go away, and income for this town will actually diminish through that avenue as well. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, seeing none, we're going to have a ballot vote. Do we have some ballot takers? All right, did everybody receive a little green piece of paper? that's capable of voting? Okay. Yeah. Okay, and okay, on the ballot, the little green ballot, there's a yes and a no. And a yes is for the override. A no is against it. Okay. Yeah, okay, I've been clarified. This is to appropriate the money that is subject to a ballot vote for the override. So this is just to get it onto the ballot. So if want to start on the first row on this side, and if you don't have a pen, they got pens on the table. If you have a pen, so we can start with the first row and go up there. Okay, we're calling the meeting back into order. And we have a 54 yes, 31 no, and 1 blank. This passes by a majority. Article 2.
I move that the town raise and appropriate an additional $2,764 to fully fund the town's share of the FY 2027 debt service for Narragansett Regional School District roof project.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ruth.
Okay, this is just to clarify. At the annual town meeting, we only voted $22,876 out of the debt exclusion for the roof. The figure should have been $25,640, and I'll apologize because I missed it in my motions. So we still need that extra $2,764, but that comes out of the debt exclusion that we've already voted for.
Okay, can I ask, where was the funding going to come from?
That's the debt exclusion.
Yes, but we have to have the money from somewhere.
It's motion is to raise and appropriate.
Okay, all right. I missed that part. Okay, we have a motion to raise and appropriate $2,764 for the debt service for the roof. Are there any comments? Any questions? Okay. What's that? Okay. Okay, we have a motion to move the article. Do we have a second? Okay, we're not going to move the article. Okay, all right, we're going to vote on the article. All those in favor of raise and appropriate $2,764, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, it passes, not unanimous.
I move we dissolve this special town meeting.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, that was unanimous.